make fun of me?
No.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for not making fun of me and respecting my opinion.
You're welcome.
Aw, this got wholesome. Hug. Do you know why I'm happy? It's because we're reviewing Shaun of the Dead. We're talking about Shaun of the Dead.
Welcome to randombystanderhere.youtube.com.
We are talking about... Hello, welcome to Work in Progress. That's about right.
Right.
Right. That's the yes. And guess what we're doing? We're finally talking about Shaun of the Dead.
We're finally talking about a movie!
Yes!
A feature-length movie. How long has it been?
4 episodes! 4 episodes!
No, not that. No, feature-length. That was like 40 minutes. We finally have something that's like actual meat on it, and that we don't have to limit the talk to 10 minutes.
Yes.
At the 24-minute mark of this, like, they didn't even get to the zombies yet, and by this point, like, the space episode would be over, and we'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. And here, it's fucking amazing.
Yes. Oh my god, I love it. Oh, it feels so good.
Okay,
Kirbyfan, how do you feel?
Well, first, before that, I am joined by the Wash random bystander here because we skipped introductions. I had a whole joke ready about the Winchester, and now I don't get to use it.
Okay.
I was gonna have a joke about I'm Big Al.
Well, look, okay? I can't trust what Big Al says. He says dogs don't look up. We just got finished with Colin. I know dogs can look up.
Yes.
I forgot about that. I'm glad that went full circle.
Oh, there's a lot of people. There was a lot of spaced references in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
We'll get to those. But there
was one I noticed where I literally went, "What?
Yep,
what is that person doing there?" And then I would just like, "Oh, okay." And then, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yes, let's do something that we haven't done since anime, and we haven't truly done since Pixar. Our history with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, that's true. I had history with anime, but not you two. This is all three of us.
Yeah. So, oh god, I'm trying to think on the history because it's.
I mean, this film is very important to my development as a human. So I have a lot to say.
Okay, so
I don't.
I guess random. You can start.
I mean, I think how I first watched this film was either I watched Hot Fuzz. I think I watched Hot Fuzz before this, and then you're like, "Hey, have you seen Shaun of the Dead?" No. Do you want to see Shaun of the Dead? Sure. And then I watched it, and then I never saw it again until now.
So I'm the reason that you had seen.
Yes.
Shaun of. Okay.
Yes. You are the reason. You and Kirbyfan are the reasons.
Right. For Kirbyfan, have you seen Shaun of the Dead before this? Before we have?
Well, the first time I saw the movie was with you, but do you want me to go over my history now?
I guess because I'm trying to think when. Maybe you give it because I'm still trying to think when did I first see?
I'll forfeit my last spot for this. You owe me. So for those who don't know, live action is not my thing. I went on this rant before. I'm not going to go on it again. I'm much more into animation than I am into live action. One day, I was hanging out with good friend The Wash, and they had mentioned this guy called Edgar Wright. And I didn't know who he was. Found out, he didn't really do any kind of cartoons or anything. I really didn't want anything to do with him. But they insisted that Shaun of the Dead, well, actually, specifically because World's End was not out at this point. So I had the choice, because we had nothing better to do and I couldn't think of anything else to do. We had the option to either watch Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz. So eventually I cracked. I was like, fine, even though live action's stupid and I don't like it. We'll watch. Which one came first? I want to watch the one that came first. Shaun of the Dead. All right, let's watch Shaun of the Dead. I watched it, and I know I said this at some point in the podcast. I don't remember. But a whole new world opened up to me. Now live action wasn't just this thing that was like no point to having it around because animation is there. I loved every minute of it on my first watching. It was such a delight. And then, of course, from there I saw Hot Fuzz, loved that. When World's End came out, saw that, loved that. And then I believe I saw it again with Random. I'm not sure. I know I saw it. This is my 4th time watching it. The 2nd time I watched it with other people. I just don't remember who they were. It might have been you two. And then a couple months ago, pre everything, I watched it with another group of friends. Really got into it. Really liked it. And then for the podcast, I was like, oh wow, this is my first time watching it by myself, and I didn't know how much it was going to hold up. I mean, I knew Edgar Wright was a great director. I just wasn't thrilled about Space. Didn't know if Shaun of the Dead was gonna, hold up to the very, very large pedigree that I've held it up to. And when we start talking about it, it'll be pretty obvious right off the bat whether or not it actually did. But because of Shaun of the Dead, I kind of stopped squarely focusing on cartoons. There was another point before Space where I did try to give live action TV a shot. Didn't work out, but it is how I got back into Whose Line Is It Anyway, so maybe it did. And as far as live action movies, things that I never would have watched in a million years, I gave a chance because who knows? Maybe this could be the next Shaun of the Dead. Maybe I could have a sequel movie like Hot Fuzz that is also incredible. Yeah,
I even remember that at one point you said, "Hey, do you want to watch a movie? You want to watch this movie called Seven Psychopaths?" And at the time,
I was actually going to bring that one up. Yeah,
I never even heard of this movie, but you said it has Christopher Walken in it, so it's got to be something. And then we watched it, and we had a blast.
I don't know if that movie holds up or not, but I loved it when we saw it.
I have no idea if it holds up or not.
I've still never seen it.
I'm sure Walken himself holds up.
Oh yeah.
Just him saying like, no, I don't wanna.
No.
But yeah, that so I'm glad to hear that like Shaun was the one that kind of turned you around and for you to start trying other like at least live action film, if not television.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that my history with Edgar Wright really started with Hot Fuzz, and so I'll save the discussion for that then. I probably watched. I know that like this movie was getting a good amount of was getting aired on Comedy Central, at least the TV edit of it. I don't know if I can't remember if on Comedy Central you heard them say 4 in the funkin' morning, like in the DVD features.
All my coworkers are ill, and
can you see why I'm so fucking angry? Funk, yeah?
It's not hip hop. It's not hip hop. It's electro. Prink.
Funk off! You want to live like an animal? Go live in a shed, you thick funk.
Prink.
Anyway, I feel like I can have a whole talk about that one later. But
it's electro.
I'll have a talk about that. But I think it was like once I got into Hot Fuzz, like I watched it, I had the DVD of Hot Fuzz and I started watching that a bunch and just loving it, and I eventually went back to Shaun of the Dead, and I remember for a time I was like, this is really fun, it's really funny, and I didn't quite like it as much as Hot Fuzz, and when we get to Hot Fuzz, I might have a think on whether that still holds up. Because this is definitely like there's definitely a lot more like, I mean, first off, there's a hell of a lot more slapstick in Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
And there's a lot more overt jokes. But again, we can talk about that in another episode. Shaun of the Dead for so long has just always been like, I really like it. It's not as good as Hot Fuzz, and so I guess it's just like for a while it's just like I just kept it at that pedigree. And whether or not I still keep it at that pedigree, we'll talk about soon enough. Although I might have spoiled that. but yeah, it's. I can't remember when was the first time I really watched it. It might have been on Comedy Central, but it was only after Hot Fuzz that I went back to it, and I got to sort of like appreciate like the early sort of craftsmanship in the scripting and stuff, and all the gags, all the Edgar Wright flavors, like the crash zooms and wipe edits.
Speaking of flavors, in the earlier part of the movie, Shaun is about to go to the store to get something. He goes, "Hey Ed, you want me to get you something at the store?" Cornetto.
Yes, that is technically the start. They didn't realize this was going to be a trilogy, and they didn't realize it was going to have so much to do with ice cream. We can talk about that in Hot Fuzz. But yes, this is the not only is it Edgar Wright's first feature film with a proper budget, but it's also the first of the what would be called the Cornetto or Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, because there's quite a lot of both.
Yes.
In this, but again, I can talk a little more about that in Hot Fuzz, because it was only in Hot Fuzz that it became the Cornetto trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh. So Shaun of the Dead.
All right. Plot synopsis. Who wants to do the plot synopsis? Can I?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So Shaun of the Dead is about a guy named Shaun. He is very lazy. Doesn't really have his life going in any direction. His girlfriend Liz is not happy about it, and his irresponsibility just gets to a point where she dumps him, and he's very upset about it. And then a zombie outbreak happens. So it's about surviving. It's making sure that his girlfriend is safe, his mom, his best friend Ed, all these people trying to survive in a zombie outbreak and going to the pub. So that sounds like the most boring plot synopsis, right?
Well, that's what makes it interesting.
I know. I mean, I didn't intentionally make it that boring, but when you break the movie down, that's it. What a fun ride.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like the fact that it's just it's a like this was intentionally written as a British response to a zombie outbreak. Like what would like Londoners suburban Londoners do during this? They probably sit down and have some tea. They probably still try to go to the
and wait
to
for the whole thing to go over.
Just wait for the whole thing to blow over. Yeah. And like how long did it actually blow over? Who knows? I mean, it turns out in this one it blows over in like a day. Oh God.
Oh man, topical reference and everything, I know, but the more and more that everyone is being told to stay inside their house to quarantine.
Oh my God.
No! And then nobody quarantined. And the whole movie would have been resolved if people had just quarantined.
And not only that, but
I was thinking that the entire time.
Not only that, but like the intro of it so feels like what it was like in the before times, because like we were already getting reports about this virus back in November.
Yep. And everybody just went about their day, not caring.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just kind of went down, and it's like, that's happening in another country. Who cares? and then
it started happening here.
And it's that exact same thing where it's like Shaun is just kind of like waking up occasionally, where he's just kind of like looking out. It's like, what the fuck is that? And then it's like, yeah, that's my flowers. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And God,
the guy swiping at the birds. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the pigeon guy. Yeah,
the pigeon guy. Yeah.
I didn't know what was the implication of that, other than that he can teleport.
Well, okay. So one thing that I really love about this is that it does say that the zombies do retain their primal instincts. So that guy just really liked birds.
No, I like that.
So he would have eaten a bird normally.
Yeah, look, he really likes birds, okay?
Really, really likes it.
You ever see something so cute you could just eat it up?
That guy took it literally.
Oh man.
I love how this is what we're talking. It feels so good to talk about a movie again.
God, I know.
Yeah.
Especially a movie this good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say, can I say I really enjoyed Shaun's character development in this? Like,
I
was gonna say, can we start talking about the characters? Can we start talking about?
Yeah, let's start with Shaun.
because he really he's the main character, so he's obviously goes through the biggest growth. But you see him go from like not caring and kind of spineless towards his best friend Ed to him like basically taking charge of the whole situation and being a leader. And even like putting Ed in his place. Sure, they're friends, but even at the end, Ed basically kind of lets Shaun lets Ed kind of walk all over him, but at the end, he literally has him like trained, like literally.
I still want to talk about like the relationship between Shaun and Ed, but if I'm just gonna talk about Shaun, yeah, like you said, that he's just in a constant sort of apathy, and he's just kind of stuck in a cycle of going to the same bar over and over again, bringing his girlfriend Liz over, and like going there so often that like Liz has knows about like the lockdowns that they have inside the bars. That's how frequent they are. And Liz is just like she wants to like go out more. She wants to go out more. She wants to have adventures and go out to other countries maybe. And in a way, that's what they get. and Liz just kind of decides she doesn't want that anymore. But yeah,
I want to do something. What do you mean do something?
Yeah, I'm beginning to sound like your mom. Oh man. And
I got you these flowers. They say to a great mom because you said you were my mom the other day. This is a bit of a joke. These flowers are for your mom, aren't they? Yeah.
God, Simon Pegg and his like performance in this.
Simon, he's incredible. He is
such a good actor.
He's so good at this. There's so much range in this too, because there's so much of that same sort of like, it's like a spinelessness, but he also just kind of like wants to look like the great scene at the when they come back from the bar after the breakup, and he's confronting Pete is confronting them, and Ed says prick, or in the DVD feature at Prink. Ed says Prink, and you can see that like Simon does this sort of like woo. That was a bit too much, and she's trying to like back off, just like not trying to like not have ownership of the situation, even though like he's the one that keeps bringing Ed into this.
What I like about Shaun, and I mean you see this in Simon Pegg's performance, of course, but what I like about Shaun is that I mean obviously he's lazy and his life isn't on track, but he does have it, because the contrast between Shaun and Ed is that Ed is just completely lazy, at home all the time, he's a slob, doesn't answer the machine and stuff, all that. Shaun has a job, he has a girlfriend, like he's hanging on even if it's just by a hair. Even Pete says, after Ed calls him a prink. Even Pete says, Ed's doing nothing but holding you back. Like he's just kind of hanging on to that laziness, hanging on to Ed almost as if, if he doesn't have him around, what is he gonna do? It's interesting. It took forever to get out. That it's very interesting. Normally a lazy character in a movie is just a lazy. They're Ed, but Shaun, he's more than that. And I could see why somebody would want to be with him. He does. There are good things about him, but also I could see why Liz broke up with him because he wasn't going anywhere. It all made sense.
Yeah, like Liz even says, like if I don't do something, I'm gonna be in that bar for years, wondering where the hell I've gone with my life. What do you
And I mean,
do
that's
something?
harsh. The bar is filled with rich characters.
He said rich characters.
yes, specifically, he said rich characters.
Yeah, that's fun, and they create all these little stories about like one's a bigamist, one's a former porn actress, one's from the North London mafia. Just all sorts of fun stuff that does pay off eventually, I think.
Yeah, with Pete.
I mean Pete definitely.
Oh no, I'm thinking not Pete. The guy in the bar that they beat in sync to Queen. That guy.
Oh,
not Pete. His name isn't Pete. I don't remember what his name is.
I know what you're talking about. I wish I could remember. His name is. I guess his name is just John. That's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he's
like,
not
in the
interesting.
script,
He's not a rich character, so he brings all the rich characters to his place.
But his apparently John, his nickname is the Barrel, which I can see. He looks like a barrel to me. Anyway,
he also has a loaded gun that Big Al knew about.
that Big Al knew about. Yeah. Yeah.
I love when they find out that the gun works, and Ed's just like, "I told you." It's such good build up.
But dogs can look up.
But I know dogs look up.
And there's the pause when he's like, "I told you," and then you can see Shaun like he knows he's right, and he's just okay.
There's all sorts of. I just love all those. So many stuff that comes up in the start that get paid off later on.
It's all throughout the movie, all throughout.
Like just it's just one after the other. It just does not stop. Like even especially at the final quarter. Like even when when like a lot of the jokes kind of it stops being like outwardly funny. There's still some jokes, but it's becomes like more of a serious horror film. And there was still like all those sorts of like the point with that jackass David, where he gets in the towards the beginning, Diane, when Shaun is trying to convince them to leave the apartment, Diane said, I don't want to be torn to pieces. I'm sure if you think about it, you don't want to either. Well, guess what happens to David?
He gets torn to pieces.
Oh wow! I didn't even think about that.
In fact, there's in the deleted scenes, that scene where because it's at this moment where like David just caused all this sort of like chaos and drama, and he's about to apologize, but then he gets pulled into the window in the deleted scenes. It actually is supposed to be he actually is supposed to apologize, and Shaun says it's okay. And then Diane's like, that's good. That took guts. And then the window comes in.
Takes his guts.
It took guts. I think like because they had that, and they shot that and everything. And I have a feeling that was like, that's too much. let's hold off on that one.
But not every time's a good time for a pun.
Exactly, yeah. Especially like a groan-worthy pun like that.
Like, oh, come on.
Anyway, I want to talk about Ed.
Yeah. Or more Shaun's relationship with Ed, because Ed can be simply simplified as he's just lazy and rude and doesn't really care.
I think I remember I first brought up this theory like some years ago, and when I watched it again, it's like the more and more I think about it, like more and more stuff started to click. Like Ed is a representation of Shaun's apathy. Like it's a representation of Shaun's like id that he just really loves. He like all he wants is to just kind of like sit home and veg out and like go or go to the bar and have drinks. Like he just doesn't want to engage. He doesn't want to. He just wants to stay distracted. And as the movie was going along, like it was becoming more apparent that he couldn't get distracted anymore. That Shaun could not get distracted anymore, and Ed was kind of representing that. Like
even to the point where once Shaun finally, fully takes responsibility and moves on, he moves on without Ed.
Yeah, exactly. He moves on. It's specifically like just kind of like shedding that sort of and so many great details. Like there's the part where they get locked inside the car with the zombie stepdad, and Ed is standing outside the car, not refusing to open. Do you know why they were locked inside? Because the child locks were on, and they were literally and Shaun was literally trapped in the path, trapped in and just kind of like stuck in this routine, and it took Liz to open up the door.
Yeah,
and
I love when she runs out. She goes, "Ed."
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if it weren't for the fact that multiple people were like directly addressing Ed, like I would say like Ed is like it was almost like a figment of Shaun's imagination. Like cause it's just like so much of Ed is about like his relationship to Shaun, and just being being dead weight.
So I agree with most of what you said. The only thing that I disagree with, and it's to the benefit of the movie, don't worry, is that he's like an imaginary friend to Shaun almost because it's so much to do with him. That's true, but what that extends to is Shaun's relation with the other characters. See, Pete, for example. Pete doesn't really mind everything about Shaun. If he was just Shaun, it would be okay. But the problem is that Ed is constantly around home being lazy, and I know I already said this, but just to bring it back up, when he shouts at Shaun, Ed does nothing but hold you back. Liz and Diane and Davis,
Daff.
Daffs. Ed's the reason why they're always going to the Winchester, and that's what gets all of them super frustrated with Shaun. So it's not just Ed and his relationship to Shaun and how he enables Shaun's laziness. It's how it affects other people too. And how it affects other people is ultimately what gets Shaun to, start taking responsibility.
But I think that it's like all of that is because like Shaun just like cause there's even a line where Pete just says let me find the line real quick. Does it make your life easier to have someone around who's more of a loser than you are?
Yep, that exact scene. Yep.
Yes. I assume it was Liz that did the dumping. And that was and at that point, that was when like Shaun woke up. And when Shaun had that waking up, that was also when Ed finally noticed, hey, what's with your hand? What's with the and he starts talking about the bite and stuff. Like it's the
why did he bite you? I don't know. I didn't ask.
or the next morning. Just to kind of show like how Shaun is trying to like ignore the situation. He's flipping through the television, and when it gets to the news, it keeps getting cut off.
No one official is prepared to comment. Religious groups are calling it Judgment Day. There's panic on the streets of London
as an increasing number of reports of
serious attacks on
people who are literally being
eaten alive.
Literally eaten alive.
Eaten alive. And that's the thing, is that he's flipping through, and he's just trying to ignore the news because he's just in a lethargic mode. And it wasn't when he started like paying a little more attention to the channel that like Ed was saying, there's a girl in the garden. and again, like I think that was just part of what Ed was about was just kind of like channeling like Shaun's change from apathy and just trying to
like I said, I fully agree with that. I just not so much with the he didn't really matter to other people. That's just kind of where I disagree with that. But everything else that you said, especially on this recent watching, I agree.
As I was watching this again, I was realizing, like, even in the first half when there was just like joke after joke, I was thinking, this is sad. This is such a sad situation. Like It's sad for Shaun. It's sad for Liz. It's sad for Ed. Like they're just stuck. Like even like Diane and David. Like it's revealed. I mean, it's barely revealed. It's not really so much of a reveal, but it's just admitted that like that David was really only around for Liz, and Diane was just there to pick up the pieces, and it's just like really pathetic 20-somethings just kind of like in a rut and just like stuck. And Shaun especially is just so like tragic that like right after the breakup they just tried to have like a good time at a bar instead, and it wasn't until like Pete just confronted him that he just like, oh my god, I'm this is how I'm gonna live the rest of my life. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like what? That's the thing that like this is funny as hell, but like there was a lot like even when like the jokes were going down, it's like this is way more complex than I gave it credit. This is. I've been talking way too much.
No, I was going to say I like the metaphor a lot about Ed being a manifestation of Shaun's apathy, which honestly makes the ending a lot more satisfying with Ed still being alive and in chains.
Alive.
In a way, it symbolizes dead alive, but it symbolizes Shaun having more control over his apathy now.
Yeah. And he hasn't let go of it either. You know, he still does enjoy the simple things. Him and Liz still go when they're going over their plan at the end. Liz does include the Winchester in it, so it's not that he's done a 180 out of nowhere. It's just that he's moving on. That's it. He's growing up.
Yeah,
they grow up so fast.
Oh.
It's so, and there's just so much. It's so weirdly complex. Like, how did we get? That's the thing, that like there's so, like the characters in this, like we get like more development out of these characters than we got from like the 5 hours. But most of the characters that got in like the 5 hours of space. It's like
writing. Edgar Wright decided to write.
Well, I mean, it was a combination of Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, because let's remember that like this was also not only is it like Edgar Wright's first feature film, but it's also the first feature feature film with a budget. It's the first feature film that where the screenplay is not the first draft.
Yes.
So I think because like they were developing this like since 1999, since that Resident Evil episode, and they were still working on it in like 2001. It was this was a long-term process, so they really beat the script down and just tried to figure everything out. It's wonderful.
There are a lot of actors from this that they use. Like, I never realized how much Edgar Wright reuses his actors. Like, I thought it was just like, it's just Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, but Daisy was in this movie.
I was gonna say, when I saw Jessica Stevenson, I was like, oh, it's space.
Yeah, and that was exactly what it was. It's just like them hooking up again after at this point 2 years, and it's just like, hey, how's you doing? Yeah, surviving.
Yeah.
And then when they come back, and literally Jessica Stevenson has her own group of people.
Yeah, so I actually will say I thought it was a bit of a missed opportunity. The people that she was with could have just been like other cast members from Space.
I think one was. I think Marsha was in that.
Marsha was in there. Marsha, the landlady.
Oh, yeah, she was in there.
I didn't recognize her.
She was. She totally was.
She had a shorter haircut. That's probably why you didn't recognize her.
Yeah, and also we had another actor who would appear in The World's End.
Yes, that is I believe his name is Michael Smiley, and that's the thing. It's not at least with Daisy and Marsha, like it's just the actors coming back. But in this case, it's literally Michael Smiley as Tyres from Space is in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, like, yeah.
his entire costume, his
he literally
headphones.
was in that zombie scene, and I was like, I saw the helmet, and I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Hold on. I literally
Exactly.
paused. I literally have a screenshot on my phone that I took of it because I was like, this. No, hold on a minute, and I'm gonna post it in the Discord so you can edit it in later.
And not only that, but he's like the brightest thing in that shot too. Like everybody else is like neutral colors and grays and stuff, and he's in, like,
that is
bright
his design.
It's like in a yellow hat.
Yeah, exactly. That generally is him. In one of the outtakes, you got to see a close up of him, like that's genuinely like, and this, as I found out, this is his feature debut. This is his first time in a feature film. Sadly, he did not get credited. I was very mad about that because I was really wondering if they're gonna like credit him as Tires.
Maybe they couldn't because of like legal reasons or something, but
I doubt that. I think it was just it was just I have a feeling that like at the time he was just a background zombie actor. So I guess they just didn't give as much mind in that. It's still kind of unfortunate that he didn't get credited for this one, but the
fact that it's even in there is cool, and
yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't have known that if we didn't watch Space. So
yeah, and see, this is why I swore that we should like stick to our guns with the Space just to see what we could pick up on, because there's all sorts of jokes that they first started making from Space. There's even one point where Pete, he goes off screen. I didn't catch this until I watched a YouTube video about it. He goes off screen and he answers the phone and says, "Dom, hi." And he does the exact same voice as Dwayne Benson.
Oh my god, yes! I thought that sounded familiar.
There's all sorts of... It really is like a spaced film in its own way of just trying to like build up on what Space was about.
Only zombies.
Only zombies. Yeah.
I love when Shaun and Ed are leaving the Winchester that one night and they're singing the song. And the zombies in the background. Gruh, and then he's like groaning in sync to what the song would be.
There's the White Line. That was the name of the song.
Yeah.
White lines going through my mind. Yeah. It's like, oh, get higher, baby. Oh, get higher, baby. Oh, get higher, girl. What is he doing? He's just saying bass or freeze. What a knob.
Also, speaking of the music, that whole Queen moment was fantastic.
Oh, that's the best part. That's the best part of the whole movie.
Who the hell put this on? Some random.
For fuck's sake!
Okay, Diane, get them somewhere safe. David, kill the Queen. What's the jukebox? Liz, Ed, grab some weaponry. What about the rifle? It's not real. Cocktails.
What do you mean?
The flaming spirits, Drambuie, Sambuca, brandy, get a racket. Light it. What, the whole place could go up. What then? How about pool? Okay, John, it's time at the bar.
And then eventually it just ends with like John just hitting the thing.
Oh yeah, John like slams right into the jukebox. Yeah.
Whoa, he gets like thrown in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a great. I love it. Again, Edgar Wright has such great attention to detail when it comes to matching his shots to the rhythm of the music. You're really gonna see it in Baby Driver, especially.
Oh, but, don't you worry about that. We'll
get to that. But it was that you saw a lot of that in that scene. I think that's what makes the scene really good, because if it wasn't that fact that the audio was so in sync with the visuals, it wouldn't have been as impactful. But the fact that they literally hit the guy to the rhythm of Don't Stop Me Now.
And not just with the pool sticks, but like later on, they grab a fire extinguisher and it's just like a, and I want to go, and don't stop me and me. And at the me, she starts spraying the zombie with the fire extinguisher.
And there's just so much going on in that scene too. They're trying to fight off the zombie. David's trying to find the breaker, and the zombies are outside. Diane's got the thing you throw. I don't know if I remember what they're called. The thing that she throws hits his head. It's sharp.
Oh, she throws darts.
Darts, yeah. She got the darts.
Oh god, that looked painful.
Hits him. Yeah, do that. Throws it again. Hits him. Ow!
It's all the sort of it's such chaos set under Queen, and it just really like as I'm watching it, I really get the sense like Edgar Wright fucking loves music. Like
Yeah.
He does.
He's put so much music into this. It's not hip hop, it's electro.
Prink.
I looked up this song. Do you know what the name of the song is? Hip hop bebop. Look, it's like Pete was right. It literally is. It's literally called hip hop. but it is considered under the genre of electro. So they're both right.
It's electro.
Oh man.
And all the sort of like small details. When they're driving they're riding in the bus, and you hear this club music. The name of the song, I think it's called like Kercraft 200, but the name of the band, Zombie Nation. I essentially like I was doing so much research, and I feel like I just got cut off because there was just so much more to dig into.
I really wanted to watch the director commentary with Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Oh, also a fun detail I noticed: color scheme. Especially with Shaun, that he was having this like white and red color scheme.
Yeah.
That like throughout most of the movie, he was just wearing this button shirt with a red tie, and this kind of become iconic for Shaun of the Dead. And I was starting to notice like more and more like red and white, like the soccer ball that the little kid is playing with. That is a red and white soccer ball. And his little name tag is in red and white. And this one I didn't even realize until like I went back, but like at the start of the film, there's a shot of Shaun like in zombie mode. It's fake zombie mode, like just like waking up and like yawning like a zombie. And he's had like a red shirt with white letters, and in the back is a framed photo of I think of a redheaded woman. And then at the end of the film, when after all the chaos ends, Shaun wakes up in new morning. He's wearing a blue shirt, and that picture in the back is now a blue car, and all the red is gone from the places.
I thought you were gonna say the woman had blue hair. Yeah,
sure.
Random. You've been a little quiet so far. What do you?
I mean, I basically agree with all you're saying. I liked a lot of the characters. What's the girlfriend's name again?
Liz.
She was okay. She was pretty strong, but she basically wound up just like listening to Shaun as the movie went on, and just as support for Shaun. The David was annoying, but he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He was
Get
supposed
fucked,
to.
I like the logic for Liz when Shaun says, "I don't have it in me to shoot my roommate, my mom, and my girlfriend in the span of a day." She says, "How do you know I've taken you back?" He goes, "I'm better than nothing, right?" And she's kind of like, "Yeah."
What he said was, "You don't want to die single, do you?"
Actually, and like Ed said in the background, actually, I would like to get shot.
Yeah. No, even throughout like that whole ending thing, even after he gets bitten, all the tensions are super high. He's still cracking jokes.
Yeah. And
like,
it's like the best,
sorry.
the best time to crack the joke too.
Oh, yeah.
Like the tensions were really high. Like it was like
And
wow.
then they're actually talking about shooting each other, and he's like, "I think I want to get shot."
I love how they make a fart joke work.
Yeah, they make a fart joke and you
with that
cry.
one, I mean, the build up, it's Edgar Wright. He makes the joke early in the movie. Shaun laughs. Ed goes, "I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing." And Shaun's like, "Oh, whatever, you goof." And then when it happens at the end, he says it, "I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing." And then through tears, Shaun says, "I'm not laughing."
Yeah.
And
Well, he said, "I'm not laughing" at the beginning.
It really just kind of hit that it's like, yeah, Ed's his best friend's gone.
Yeah, and like in both cases, like in the beginning, like he's I think his line was, "I'm not laughing, I'm going." So like in this moment, like he's going for good.
Mhm.
Like he's leaving Ed. It's just all the more powerful with that. And it's a fart joke, and it makes you cry.
And on the note of Shaun and Ed, Wash, you have said many times in this podcast that there's no suggested homosexuality between Ed and Shaun. How dare you?
I had forgotten.
Thanks,
forgotten.
babe.
Thanks, babe.
So I brought that up. It is relevant. Thanks, babe was hilarious. It was one of the biggest laughs of the movie. But
yeah,
when they're going up, they're leaving Ed. Liz says loves you, and Ed just kind of looks at her, whatever. And then on their way up, Shaun's looking right at him, and just through tears, he says, "I love you too, man."
Yeah, and it's just this sad moment, and Ed just says, "Gay." That's throughout this whole always
his
be
final
Ed.
line of the movie. That's how he goes, not only in the movie but in life.
Yeah. That's even like a callback, because like a little earlier, like when they're like trying to assess the situation, it's like, "Why do you gotta go back to Liz?" "Because we do." "Why? She dumps you." "I gotta know if she's all right." "Why?" "Because I love her." "All right, gay." It's like the absurdity of just being so just being like so no homo about it.
Yeah.
There were times some things Ed said didn't really age well, though.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I've even talked to people because and it's like I sometimes bring up about the time when Ed says a racial slur, and is that he did? Because nobody seems to remember that, and it's really bumming me out that it's in the movie.
I know. It's a blemish on the movie that, like, it's minor in, how it happens, like he says it and then it's over, but
yeah,
it's major in what it means, and it's a big blemish.
Yeah. I think that the logic behind it was that it was just kind of stupid for Ed to act like that. Like everybody was like groaning at him, like not like literally, but they were like visually.
Yeah, they were annoyed.
Groaning at. Yeah, they were very annoyed at Ed shit. But it's, why is that? Why is that? Not only is that there, but like I watched in the deleted scenes. There's one take of this where Ed says, "All right, cunts." Why didn't they just pick that?
Yeah. Maybe it's because he said it already in the movie, but that's not.
What's up, wankers? You could have went with anything. Almost anything.
Yeah. You could, oh God. And there's a in one of the features you got to see them back in 2001. They were still like writing through this movie. I think they were wrapping. They were about to wrap up. That they were going through the flip charts, but there's this huge notepad where they write down all the notes, all the little details about the movie, and you see that word in one of the flip pads. Why? They planned that? Why would you do that? No.
I guess it was to illustrate how bad he was.
The answer is this movie came out in 2004. People were not as aware of the fact that words like that meant a lot more than just them being a word.
I think like in UK, it's okay. Here's the thing that like I don't know a lot about UK, and I know that they have their own sorts of horrific slurs. Some of them were just invented in the British Isles. But I guess it's just that like they just didn't realize. Oh, they didn't realize or didn't care to realize that like the impact that word has in America, especially. It's just dirty, and it's just not fun.
What I guess while we're talking, I'm glad we all agree it's a big negative. What are your general negatives with the movie otherwise?
I was thinking about this too. Like, do I have like major negatives or like other minor negatives? Probably like. I think they were definitely going somewhere. This isn't. It's not so much a negative, just like what could have been. Like they were, because it was clear in like the feature and stuff that they had quite a lot of different ideas for Liz. But once the film had come out, once it was all like put together, like Liz herself was like Liz's character is more in relation to Shaun.
Yeah, that's why when I was describing her, I was like, she was okay.
Yeah,
she just didn't
exactly.
really do much. Like,
it's not like Ed, where there's all this interesting stuff, and he's actually a personality. She's just kind of there. I like Diane.
I like that.
So the thing about Diane, I'm glad we watched Space. She reminded me a lot of Twist, except a lot more to her.
Exactly. I was exactly thinking. So
there's a specific thing that she does. When she's having everybody act as zombies, she's like, look at him, lifeless, all that. She does a thing. She describes him. She looks up to the left, looks up to the right, and then goes, okay. Like she's imagining it. All actors do this. I can vouch. Yes. All actors do this. That is such an important detail to get right. Random can also vouch. Yes.
Yep. I was like, wow. I was like, she's literally doing an acting.
I feel called out.
What I found, what is interesting is that like, not only do we see like what Shaun's current job is, but we also get a lot of hints of what his previous job was, because like there's a lot of details where you can piece together, and I was watching a video like Simon Pegg confirmed that he used to be a DJ. There are all sorts of posters in the background to DJ events. You can see him like doing the scratching on the electro, and there's even a poster where you find out what his DJ name was. His name was Simon Smiley Riley, and in that same poster you see General Cy Begg, which I guess is supposed to be Simon Pegg, and then what was it? And the Firing Brake Squad, which I think is a reference to the Firing Squad at the very end of the movie. So it's like there's a lot of planning for all that, and it's such a shame that we don't see that, or at least I just can't find it. It's just
I mean, you do see a little bit. You do see a little bit of him being a DJ. It's hinted with the record scratch scene, the record scenes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. And also there's a line where it's like, we met in Greece at a rave, so it was very likely that like Shaun was hosting a rave in Greece, and that was how they met. But then from there it's like this. Well, what about Liz? Like, what is there to learn about Liz herself? And we don't really get that much.
Yeah,
and spoilers for the rest of the trilogy, but I think that's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Like Diane is kind of like the most rounded, at least from what we see in this.
Wait, what do you mean? Like with women in the Cornetto trilogy? Do you mean?
Yeah, this is as good as it gets with like women in the Cornetto trilogy.
I hate to agree with you, but yeah.
I mean, I'll defend Diane.
I'll defend
Diane's
Diane
great.
as well.
There's a few.
I mean, Barbara was good too. For a different reason. I don't think there's a lot going on with her, but just kind of naturally, her being the mother in this situation just lends to a lot of interesting stuff.
Actually, there's some interesting women in Hot Fuzz now that I think about it, but that's for another time.
Yeah, we can talk a little more about all that, but yeah, Barbara, since we're talking about that we got to see what that Sean's like what Sean's family life is like. That like his mother is very supportive, very like happy, and then Phil, the stepdad, is well, they have a complicated relationship as it turns out,
but in the end it works out well until he turns into a zombie.
Until he turns into a zombie, but it's just like having that just kind of realization that Phil had that realization of like I never said I guess it's just like I never said that I love you.
Being a dad is hard.
Yeah, being a dad is hard, especially when being a dad like late in the child's life. In this case, like Shaun was only 12. He says like, and it's a really like I think it's the first like majorly poignant scene.
Yeah, and I think it's something that Shaun needed to hear, and that really like helps him.
I always knew you had it in you to be someone. You just needed someone to push you in the right direction, and I wanted it to be me. And guess what? It was him.
Yeah, it was him, and it was also like another sort of wake up of like Ed is not it. Ed should not be guiding me here. and this is at the halfway mark, just to show how like strong the script is.
Yeah.
This is at the halfway mark, and at this point, this is when like more and more of like Sean's foibles and his just him being like stuck in a rut, stuck in the past, is just kind of like slowly shedding away.
That scene where he snaps at Ed is just, you really get to see Simon Pegg's acting chops in that.
Oh God, yeah, that's so good. That when he
throughout all this time, he was
David,
defending Ed for saying such horrible things about the people around him and just being a jerk, and then finally, after this whole moment, he yells at him. I mean, granted, it's fixed with the "thanks, babe" line later, but still, it's just great to actually see him take control over Ed and stand up to Ed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's good Lord.
I like when they were originally planning on bringing everybody back to their house. The reason why they can't is because the house is in shambles. It's like it's a mess. Like, we can't have everybody come back here, not with the state that it's in, and it's just because the house is really dirty.
No. Well, I mean, the state of it is it's not just that the house is dirty, but they're like there's a broken window right there.
Yeah.
Where they were like throwing like record at the. Oh my God, that window! That is my favorite joke in the entire movie. Maybe my favorite joke in the whole trilogy is Shaun is trying to like call the emergency, and Shaun says, "Are they still out there?" And Ed walks up to the window, opens the curtains. There's all these there's two snarling zombies at him. He doesn't change his expression. Closes the curtain, walks back. Yeah, I die every single time. It's such a.
Even when Nick Frost is playing a jerk, he still comes off.
I love Nick Frost. He's so good. I mean, look, we gave Simon Pegg a lot of praise, which he fully deserves. It's Nick Frost's turn. I love him in this.
It's very hard to make an asshole-ish character like Ed likable, but Nick Frost does it. He does it well.
So my biggest laugh of the movie, I already said, was beating the guy to Queen music and just that whole scene. But if we're just gonna talk about like, I don't know, like a big thing with the movie is, of course, everything going on with Shaun, but just also, as Wash said, how would suburban London react to a zombie apocalypse? When Shaun and Ed are going through the record album, seeing which ones to keep and which ones to throw.
Now, some of these are limited.
What was that?
I think it was Blue Monday.
Man, there was an original pressing.
For fuck's sake. Purple Rain. No. Sign of the Times.
Definitely not.
The Batman soundtrack. Throw it. Okay. Oh, Dire Straits. Throw it.
Forget this, I'm going to the shed. I thought you said it was locked, and it just breaks it down.
He just breaks right through it. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of things breaking, we got to talk about this. The shortcut to the Winchester is over a bunch of fences, and Shaun jumps over the fence and it falls, and that's important to Edgar Wright as a film director.
Yep.
Absolutely, that you gotta have the film jumping, and that line never taken a shortcut before. That pays off later. We'll talk about that when we get there.
You didn't see that in Spaced.
Tragic.
I could have sworn there was like some sort of fence jumping.
Well, you know
matter.
what? There
That
was
is good.
fence jumping in Dead Right.
There was. That's right.
Anyway.
Right from the fight.
I'm trying to think. One shot I really liked a lot was, at one point, all right, Shaun goes, all right, I'm gonna take a look to see if there's any zombies, and you see him just walk up a slide,
Yes.
and then you see his legs, and then you just see him like hear a sigh, and he goes down, and he's like, are there any? And he's like, yes, lots, and then the shot pans up to
Yep.
a horde of zombies
Yeah.
all over the Winchester.
So
Yeah.
that's an incredible shot. I agree. That's just not where I thought you were going up to when you said that. I thought you were talking about when they were at the house and he opens up the mail slot. Nick's
Yes.
Ed goes, any zombies? No, we're good. And then he looks over to the side and he's like, oh, no, there they are.
Can I just say the whole shot for shot of Shaun walking to the convenience store? The first time was just normal and great, and you see like the regular hustle and bustle of everybody, and then you see him like go get the thing, and then when he goes to get the cornetto, it's all barren. You see people walking around like zombies, but he doesn't notice a dang thing.
In fact,
You
his
see a hole in
routine
one of
is
the windshields.
His routine is the same, even to the point of that car. He still trips over the same thing. Everything to Shaun is the same. It's the world around him that's different, and he's ignoring it.
Exactly, and he's still distracted. He's still like stuck in himself, just still not acknowledging what's going around him.
Yep.
I didn't realize that. Like I was looking it up, and like around the time when they were writing this, like the UK was having its own epidemic with something called foot and mouth disease. It's spreading around cows, and apparently like Edgar Wright missed out on all of it because he was just too distracted, and he just missed out on like 2 weeks. And then like he went to the news, and all of a sudden he sees like a pile of cows burning, and it was like, what the fuck happened?
That's amazing.
What are the, and boy, do I relate to that? Do we have any other aside from like losing do we have any other like complaints about the film?
Random?
Not really. I mean, my biggest complaint is that just Liz needed more development, and that's really about it. Even though I almost called him Mike. Ed saying the N word.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw this movie, I didn't like the way it ended, with the police just showing up, but God, the end of the, like, it's just them just showing up and fixing everything is actually one of the best parts.
They just annihilate everybody. Honestly,
I'm glad someone made it.
Yeah, I will say, oh my god. I will say, at first, now that I get Space, I think I appreciate the Daisy being in the film a lot more. Because at first I was just like, who is she? What?
Yeah.
She literally pops in only 3 times in the movie. And
I mean, I think for the movie standalone, it still works just because she's part of the squad at the end that's, you know, saving everybody. So in that regard, it works. Like, it's like, okay, fine. It's not great, but it's not bad either. With having knowledge of Space, it's just like, oh, look, it's the writer.
I think there's also there is like genuine purpose in her being this, especially with that like each time she shows up, like it was just kind of like checking in on Shaun. It's like it's like at the time when she first checked on Shaun, like Shaun was in the rut. Shaun was just kind of like cycling through, and it was only when she met Shaun that Shaun realizes, oh shit, I forgot about the restaurant. And then later on, like they have that, and it's just kind of like sucking up on each other real quick, and it's like, we're gonna go to the Winchester, the pub. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good luck. And then at the very end, checks up on them once more, and it's just like, well, glad somebody made it. Like it's. I think I think there's like genuine like good purpose in her like still showing up, even though like it was mostly so we could bring back Daisy from space
and Marsha at one point.
And Marsha, yes.
I love that scene, by the
Marsha-
way, where they all just walk by each other, and it's just like this perfect parallel of everybody walking by.
That was like the closest it got to like this like cartoon.
Yeah, that's literally a cartoon.
It was great.
It's such a stupid shot, but it's just so fun.
It's so fun. The movie's so fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's
Do we have anything else to say?
a lot. We're just running low, so I don't know what I want to what to pick. I guess the ending. I know we kind of brushed it over, but anything like specific we have to add on the ending, or do we say everything already?
I mean, what's great about if you're talking about the ending, all the shots on TV, just like what would a post zombie apocalypse look like? And it would just look like today, but worse. Apparently, in the DVD, they have I forget what they call it, but they have these short little comics where plot holes, because there are certain like, hey, whatever happened to, hey, how did Ed come out of the Winchester or survive from the Winchester and not get shot to pieces by the army, or hey, how did Diane made it? And you actually get to see like the comics of explaining all of that didn't get to fit into the movie. So apparently Diane actually survived. Apparently she climbed up a tree and just like keeps herself nourished by eating the leg of her now ex-boyfriend.
Her dead boyfriend. That was another cartoon thing when they yanked his legs.
Yeah. Legs don't generally do that.
Also, you could argue David being ripped apart was a reference to the original Dawn of the Dead, I think, because I think that happened.
It did happen, yes. Specifically, it happened in Day of the Dead.
There we go.
There's so many references in this. That I generally like. I took notes of it. It would be dragging this podcast even longer if I tried to explain all the different references in this. This is not actually anything to do with the movie itself. But I was watching because they in the DVD, in the Blu-ray, they have the video diaries that the actress that was playing Diane, she kept the video diary, just like recording stuff on set. And at one point, you see Simon Pegg and Nick Frost playing Game Boy Advance together. And
that's perfect.
All I want to know.
That's perfect.
All I want to know is what game were they playing in 2003, in summer 2003? And but they were playing together without a link cable, so it probably wasn't multiplayer.
Or I mean, there were wireless. There's like some.
Oh, were there wireless?
Yeah, there was like a wireless thing that you could have. Pokemon used it. Anyway, one last thing I guess we could talk about before wrapping it up, because the timer's getting a little low. Let's talk. Yeah. They are characters as like a mass. What about the zombies?
Oh, the makeup's great.
I mean, even I remember like these aren't, they're dumb zombies. If you walk and look like a zombie, then they don't go for. It's like they're attracted towards a noise. Yeah, like when Shaun is shouting, "Over here, feast on me, over here." You know that they just ignore everybody else.
Cause they're like hyper focused on a noisy meat. I guess it's the issue here. Yeah.
They also but they also still have their primal instincts, like
nothing in the man that you loved is in that car. Takes the CD out. Shall we get going?
If we're gonna talk about the zombie, can we just talk about like this is still a pretty good horror film? Like,
yeah.
So I wanted to bring this up. I don't exactly know where he puts it, but James Rolfe says that this is one of the greatest zombie movies ever made.
I think I can. Okay, here's the thing. I can count the number of horror films I've seen on one hand. Like I
can count the amount of horror films I've enjoyed on one finger.
Yes, I really like that. But so like I don't think anyone in this discussion knows much about horror. But
Nope.
like this is like the ending of this especially, like this is it was getting like, holy shit, this is stressful.
Anyways, Random, you were saying?
Yeah.
No, I would just I honestly forgot what it was, but
No, sorry.
the makeup
sorry.
I was saying is very good.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the makeup is just really good. They actually act like zombies. They look creepy. They are attracted by noise. They still have funny moments because they do have things about themselves, like the stepdad's car and when Ed is playing video games.
At the end, he goes to bite Shaun. Sean's just like, Ed!
And not only that, but like Ed treats the zombies like a video game because like when they confront that one, they're great because at the very beginning Pete thinks that Ed left the front door open, but as it turns out, it was Shaun because a zombie in a groom tuxedo walks in and Ed smashes an ashtray into the zombie's head and Shaun is like shook and Ed is like, did you see his head go in? Like,
I'm gonna go close the front door.
And then
Oh my
later
god,
on,
the shutting the front door joke.
Yeah. And then later on, as they're driving through and just like racing through London, like Ed is making a point to like drive into zombies. Like he's making a specific point.
When they drive into the one guy, they're really worried that they hit somebody. They find out he's a zombie. Sean goes, "Oh, thank God for that." Anyway, with that, final thoughts. Who's going first?
I'll go, I guess.
All right, Random.
I liked it a lot, especially after watching Spaced. Not that Space is bad, it's just it was so great to watch a movie again for this podcast. But in all honesty, I liked it a lot, not just because it was hilarious, but there was a lot more drama in it than I thought. Like it got more serious than I thought it was going to. Like, I guess I watched Hot Fuzz so many times that I expect just those silly, over-the-top jokes. But really, there was a decent amount of balance between horror, drama, and comedy, and character development in Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, it was great. I liked Shaun's growth as a character. I do like that metaphor of Ed being Shaun's apathy. I think it was a fun movie. Is it my favorite of the Edgar Wright films? I still don't know. But I really did enjoy it, and I probably enjoyed watching it more than I did last time, because I remember just liking it, thinking it was a good film, but I really, really enjoyed it the second time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good. It was good.
So, well, I guess this might be a discussion for later on, but here's a question for you, Random. Like, just so I can get a
yes, this is
barometer,
better
like,
than Dead Right.
No, that's not what I'm asking. That's going to be for later. What I'm asking is, let's say in the context of either Pixar films or the anime, like where would you place Shaun of the Dead?
Ballpark is fine.
Just ballpark. Don't get.
What do you mean by like where I like out of all the
like
rankings?
if you were to somehow throw Shaun of the Dead inside a Pixar respective list or in the CinemaSon list,
I
and
think
ballpark
it. I honestly forget a lot of my lists with Pixar perspective, but I say it would be above.
Like, did you like
it would be big?
more?
It would be better than Toy Story 4.
Okay. Did you Did you like it more than Tokyo Godfathers? Because I know that was like, I think that was second.
Yeah, that was
list.
second. That was second for me. I think I like Tokyo Godfathers a bit more.
Okay. That's alright, that helps me a little bit. Alright. Okay, for me, I'm quite shook. As I was saying in the beginning of this, like, I just kind of put, Shaun of the Dead lower just because, like, I loved, Hot Fuzz so much for so long. And I just thought, like, oh, Shaun of the Dead. And I also thought that, like, oh, Shaun of the Dead is, like, it has a lot of, like, goofy scenes. And then, like, at the last quarter of it, it just gets, like, really serious. And there's not a lot of funny stuff happening. But, like, watching this again, like, it's honestly, like, it's the parts where it's not as funny that's, like, hit me the most. Like, there's some, like you said, it's, like, genuine drama in this. And, I know, like, they were, like, in the poster, they like to call this a romantic comedy with zombies. And yeah, that's entirely accurate. That it's far more about, like, the character dramas, and the zombie apocalypse is kind of it's not a distraction from that. It's a metaphor of that sort of, like, engrossing all those sorts of habits and all those sorts of in all those impulses, because that's what the zombies are running on. They're running on impulses, and like, all those characters are just on autopilot, and they're just trying for something else. And those that can't, they don't stick around, unfortunately. And good God, like, Shaun, especially, is such a complex character. I was really surprised by that. I can't recommend this enough. Like, this is really wonderful. Really, really wonderful film. I'm now wondering if like, is Hot Fuzz as good as I think it's gonna be? I mean, we'll see.
Didn't you feel this about Inside Out?
Yeah, the question isn't, is Hot Fuzz going to be as good as I think it is? The question is it Shaun of the Dead? That's the question.
Is it Shaun? Yeah, thank you.
Is Shaun of the Dead better than you thought it was?
Well, yeah, oh yeah.
By the looks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Shaun of the Dead is a lot better than I thought it was. As I was walking into this, it's far more complex, and, like, it's a lot smarter. Like that's the other thing, is that, like, after coming from, like, space, and especially coming from Dead Right, like, it's clear that, like, this was genuinely, excuse me, this is a genuinely a smart, well-crafted script, well-crafted direction. Like, everyone knocks it out of the park with the acting. Even if I don't, I'm not as thrilled on the characters. I feel like everyone, like, does a really good job acting in this. Especially Simon and Nick. Just a whole lot of great complexities in what would normally be, like, a dumb zombie comedy. I love this. This is wonderful. Wonderful film. Kirby fan, what are your final thoughts?
So before I say anything, I know both of you, your big takeaway, a lot better than you remember it being. As I said in my history with the film, I've always been in the camp that Shaun of the Dead's fantastic, one of my favorites. That said, wow, this is better than I remember.
I think we all agree it's better than
it's just like I said, why it's kind of a bigger deal for me is because I'm the one saying it. The reason why it's a bigger deal is just because I already loved it. It wasn't, oh, it's really good. I loved it, and I can still say there's so much more to it than I remember. It's so much better than I remember. There's so much about, so much commentary, so much character, so much humanity, so many jokes. So many jokes. And so many of them land, and as everything worked, is start to finish, top to bottom. It's so well, the foundation is so good, and they go so many places. And it's not a good movie because it's following any kind of formula, like save the cat, as Random always says. It's inventive, it's creative. The effects are great. We didn't talk about when they push the girl onto the fountain or whatever it was, and she stands back up, and the hole is in her stomach, and the camera's focused on Simon and Nick's reactions. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And
then they like staring at it, and Ed like tries to crank the disposable camera to get the film.
Shaun just like curls it and just like slaps it out of his hand.
Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, so joke's on you, Wash. I thought about this before you brought it up. But if I had to place this somewhere where I would put, the Pixar films and the anime films, no lie, this is in the Incredibles, Tokyo Godfather, Silent Voice camp. I love this. I love this a lot.
Oh, wow.
I am absolutely certain that, let me reword that. Let me start that over. I am absolutely open to Hot Fuzz being a better movie than this. If it happens, great. But regardless, I also fully expect Hot Fuzz to be in this area, because I do remember, I haven't seen Hot Fuzz nearly as many times as Shaun, but I remember kind of thinking that the movies were really close, but Shaun just kind of barely edged it out. Probably because there were a lot more dumb jokes, but whatever. But masterpiece. I'm probably going to watch it a million times before I'll watch it so many times that while I'm watching it, I'll be the zombie.
I'm probably gonna finally buy this DVD now.
Yeah, get the trilogy.
Shaun of the Dead was the only one of the Cornetto trilogy that I did not own.
Yeah, just get the trilogy on DVD or Blu-ray. Get it on Blu-ray to spite Wash.
No, the Blu-rays themselves they still have all the DVD features, so there's still like quite a lot of that. I just wish that it was more accessible than it currently is. It's really annoyed by that. But yeah, definitely go. I honestly, like, I've watched the DVD features for the trilogy more often than the movies themselves. It's just there's so much interesting stuff that to learn about each film, like buried inside those features and commentary tracks. Absolutely, go check get your hands on the Blu-rays and stuff.
Right.
And since you mentioned it, now I'm having a think on it, and I probably would. I think I would put it between Coco and Up on my list for Shaun, in Shaun, which would make it around like fourth place. Like it is masterful, just masterfully well done. So that's it. We did it. We've talked about Shaun of the Dead, and here's my let's do this real quick. So far we have watched Dead Right and Shaun of the Dead. Is Shaun of the Dead better than Dead Right?
This is a serious question. Are you just really? Are you
so
serious
normally
right?
when you say that, you say random Kirby fan or I'll start.
Random.
You just didn't say anything.
Oh no! I was just saying that as a general question because
normally
I want anyone to speak up.
Normally you single one of us out.
Okay, Kirby fan.
You're supposed Kirby fan. Is Shaun of the Dead better than Dead Right?
Okay. Please edit this properly.
Wait a minute! Hold the fuck! Wait a minute!
Please edit this properly.
Kiki's delivery service.
Kirby fan, is Shaun of the Dead better than Dead Right?
First of all, no, I'm not editing it properly. Second, yes, it's better than Dead Right.
Actually, they will be editing it properly by leaving it in.
Thank you. Someone actually understands.
Okay,
I understand. True.
And random? Is Shaun of the Dead better than Dead Right?
Funk yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Prink.
That's a reference for later. Yes, I would
couldn't
agree.
think of anything else to
So
say.
So I'm gonna put that into my code. Boop 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 boop. Okay. So it turns out that surprise surprise, our average ranking is from the bottom up. Dead right, Shaun of the Dead.
Wow.
We're spaced.
Do you want to rank space?
No.
Neither do I.
I don't want to watch all the series again. I don't.
That's fine. That's fine. I still have my enjoyment with it. I
liked it. I just don't want to
it.
watch it for a while. Like, I want to save it for maybe a rainy
sure.
day when I you know what? I feel like coming back to it, but not now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So we've done our ranking and final thoughts. So to close everything out, you may notice that at the end of the film that the music supervisor for Shaun of the Dead is a man named Nick Angel. And we'll be seeing more of Angel in 2008 when we return for Hot Fuzz.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
And we're going to have a special guest, too.
Yep, our resident
that's-
Count Rancid.
Yes, because I think that especially after Sonic the Hedgehog 1999. The best episode! Especially after that, Rancid said, you know what? Let me please myself and pick a good movie.
Pick a good one.
And
yeah, because the episode is lost media, we don't have that anymore. But when he first decided on Hot Fuzz, it was in the Sonic episode.
Oh, was it? Was it after the Sonic
It was
episode?
during the Sonic episode. That's when he decided. Then it became lost media.
Oh no, I completely forgot about that.
Well, either way,
sad.
we're going to be doing Hot Fuzz with Count Rancid next time.
Yes. Next time on That's About Right. Until then, I've been the Wash.
I'm Random Bystander here.
And I'm just glad somebody made it.
Yes. Please watch Shaun of the Dead, please.
Yes. That was
All right.
great.
Stop recording.
All right. Okay.
Make me.
All right. Jeez, don't be so pushy.